Hi, welcome back to Stanwood High School, kind of. It might look like I'm in my classroom, but this is actually in my house. I have chalkboards in my house as well, which those of you that know me, this should not come as much of a surprise. For those of you that don't, I'm Mr. Swanson. I will be your calculus teacher this year. Um, so, First of all, we have two different calculus classes. There's Calculus AB and Calculus BC, both of which are AP, and both of which are second period. So we'll figure something out with the whole class meeting thing, because meeting at the same time isn't going to work very well. And I don't want to only have one meeting a week, because calculus is not particularly easy. It's not as hard as you might think it is, because, ooh, it's calculus. But it is something where meeting twice a week, I think, is definitely going to be important. So we'll figure out something. Maybe we meet right before the class, since it's second period, so right before is technically lunch. But I mean, are you really sticking to that schedule? Like, oh, I have to eat lunch because it tells me I have to eat lunch. And if you really want, you can eat lunch while we're having our meeting. But we'll figure that out. It'll be a discussion. We'll talk about it. Maybe we'll alternate weeks or days or whatnot. And so, but we're not in school. That's okay. We don't have to be in the building to be in school. I've said for many years that most of the best learning actually doesn't happen within the walls of the school. That's why I take kids to Iceland and Alaska and stuff. Now, when I say that, this is not what I had in mind exactly, but it's what we have to work with. So we're going to make the best of it, and we're going to hopefully have fun doing it, and it will be an adventure. I know this is my 17th year, and this is definitely a new one. This is a first. So the first thing I want to mention is work ethic. Now, I know that working from home, it can be really easy to slack off. We saw that in the spring. Now we have things are different now than they were in the spring, but that tendency to slack off is big. Now, it might be you might be thinking like, oh yeah, I really didn't do much of the spring. Or hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully you worked hard. I know a lot of you did. But you probably know somebody that probably didn't ever show up to a meet or do any assignment or anything. They were just done in the middle of March, and that was the end of it. They're going to be paying for that, and hopefully we can all get through it. But I know in my syllabus for the past number of years I've had a quote, and I don't know who said the quote, and it's not a very long quote, but it said, "Those who work, learn." Now, that's not just true for this class, that's true for all of your classes and life in general. Those who work, learn. If you're not actually putting in the work, you're not going to be the one doing the learning. So that's important. Assignments and stuff. Luckily, this year, we have brand new curriculum. I'm a little bit torn on that for calculus. I mean, I love this new curriculum. It's just that the other one, like, I spent a lot of time writing a book, and we used it for 2 years. But that's okay. That was always just a stopgap. I always wanted a real one, and what's great, this one has such amazing online resources that it's going to make this possible. With what we were doing, it would have been very difficult to go through a year with that. So there's a website. I'm not going to show you all that stuff right now. That'll come in another video, probably the next one, where I'll walk you through the different websites and stuff and show you the what you can expect from them and what they have. But one of the things is assignments. We can actually do our assignments online. A great thing to this is that if you miss a problem, it will let you know, it will give you a hint. You miss it 3 times, it'll walk you through a similar problem so that you can learn how to do the problem and do it right. Because that's what the homework's about. It's what it's always about. It's about learning. So this will help, especially since I'm not there right, like where you can just put up a hand and ask a question. This will help get us through those questions on your own, where you can have, I mean, I've made mistakes and problems specifically to try this out, and it was good. And there's actually a problem that someone asked last year that I had taken from this book because I was looking at it. And I was making a little mistake and I couldn't figure it out. I actually went in and had it walk me through the problem step by step, and it was amazing. Now, this was a very, very difficult problem at the end of the year, and so it was a good one. But the fact that it does that is so amazing. And so you can do your assignments till they're correct. The point breakdown is in the syllabus, which you'll read, but basically 80% to get a 3, 90% to get a 4, and 100% to get a 5. Tests and quizzes. We'll have tests and quizzes off and on as normal. Those will be online as well. The same thing, except you don't get to keep trying the problems. You get one shot at it, so you want to make sure that you're good to go for that. There's also a thing on the website called the study plan. The study plan takes the book section by section, and it takes each objective in that section. It gives you some practice problems, and then a quiz for mastery. That is phenomenal. And that's in addition to assignments, but I'll give you extra credit points for that. And so that's in the syllabus as well. Other online tools, there are videos for the lessons, other than the ones that I will make for you. There are things that come with the curriculum, and I'll show you how to find those and access those when I'm showing you the website. Google Meets and lessons. So the lessons are video lessons, which honestly for calculus, even if we were in the building, they would be video lessons anyway, because I have both calculus AB and BC in the same class, and it turns out I can only teach one lesson at a time. Character flaw. So calculus has had video lessons for a few years just because of the logistics of that. And so I have to make all new ones because we have a new curriculum and things are spaced and paced differently and stuff, but that's okay. In the video lessons, there will be times where I have you pause the video because we'll be going, it's like, here's this skill, here's a problem, all right, now try this problem. Actually pause the video, do the problem. It goes back to that those who work learn thing. And then the Google Meets. Hopefully the Google Meets will not be just a recap of the lesson. That's not what they're there for. The Google Meets, we may need to answer some questions. Hopefully not too many homework questions though, because those should be answered by the website as you're doing your homework. Hopefully we can get those questions answered there. And that'll allow us to do extension stuff in the Google Meets. That'll allow us to be doing stuff to get ready for the AP test and things like that. And so we'll be able to use those in a better way than just answering questions where like 3 people are concerned and everyone else isn't. And again, this is new for me too, so we'll see what works and what doesn't, and we'll hopefully try and stick with what works. In the video lessons, struggles and benefits. Benefits, you can watch it again. You can watch it while you're reviewing, right before the test, weeks later. You can pause it. You can rewind it. I don't pause or rewind very well, but the videos do. Your parents can watch it. Sometimes parents like to get in on it too and see what stupid thing is Mr. Swanson saying this time. But sometimes they also like to watch it to refresh themselves so they can help you with your assignments, because that is something parents a lot of times like to do. Sometimes they start feeling a little bit helpless around Algebra 2 and Pre-Calc, because unless you're using this a lot, you don't necessarily remember exactly how to do stuff. So that's nice. And parents, hopefully you're watching this. You can feel free to watch any of the lessons. You can feel free to watch any of our Google Meets. One of the great things about this is it's like throwing back the curtain on education. You can see what it is that we're doing with your students. And there's nothing that I would tell them that I wouldn't tell you guys. So feel free to tune in anytime you want. Struggles with the video lessons would be mainly that you can't just ask a question right then and there. Definitely write it down. I would suggest pausing the lesson and emailing me and waiting for a response, which usually comes pretty quickly. However, a lot of times I will get people, like, they'll send a question and then 2 minutes later I'll get another email from them telling me never mind, I just answered their question. I do try to anticipate the questions that you might have and answer them. So I'd write down your question and then keep watching. And if I haven't answered your question by the end, definitely make sure that you ask me. And that's kind of all I have. Hopefully, or not hopefully, this year we should be ready to go for the AP test. We have a bunch of chapters to go through. The plan is that we will actually be done with our new stuff by spring break, and then we review for the AP test, and you should be ready to take the AP test at the beginning of May. The difference between the AB and the BC classes is BC moves faster. So they won't spend as much time on an individual lesson as we might. In AB, as we might, I'm in both of them, but BC might not spend as much time as AB on something, and they'll skip over a couple of the sections right at the beginning, some of the review stuff from pre-calc and like graphing lines and some of the easy stuff just to help save time. But they're learning the same stuff, just at a faster pace. So I look forward to this adventure that we get to take, whether we want to or not. And you can be expecting some more videos and to hear from me a lot this year, because you're going to be hearing my voice all the time. It's great. I do feel sorry for you. I don't like listening to myself any more than you do. But until then, keep working problems, keep asking questions, and as always, happy mathing.